students, welcome again. Here is Yashi Vadera, and today we are going to learn the second part of our chapter number 1, Nutrition in Plants. So in the previous video, we have already studied about mode of nutrition in plants and the photosynthesis process, that is food making process in plants. So students, you have already observed some plants with deep red, violet or brown leaves. And now whether you want to know that these leaves also carry out photosynthesis or not. So let's understand an activity for this. Take two potted plants of the same kind, keep one in the dark or in a black box for 72 hours and the other in sunlight. Now perform iodine test with the leaves of both the plants as you did in class 6th. Now record your results. Now leave the pot which was earlier kept in the dark in the sunlight for 3 to 4 days and perform the iodine test again on its leaves and again record your observations in your notebook. So you can clearly see that the leaves other than green also have chlorophyll and the large amount of red, brown and other pigments mask the green color as you can show in this figure. Observe the leaves of various colors carefully. Photosynthesis also takes place in these leaves. So you often see slimy green patches in ponds or stagnant water bodies. These are generally formed by the growth of organisms called algae, which we have already seen in the previous video. Now can you guess why algae are green in color? So here is the answer. Because they contain chlorophyll which gives them the green color, and also algae can prepare their own food by photosynthesis. Now let's move to the another topic, that is synthesis of plants food other than carbohydrates. Now we have just learned that plants synthesize carbohydrates through the process of photosynthesis. So the carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, and these are used to synthesize other components of food such as proteins and fats. But these proteins are nitrogenous substances which contain much amount of nitrogen. Now a question arises, from where do the plants obtain nitrogen? So recall that nitrogen is present in abundance in gaseous form in the air, that is 78%. However, these plants cannot absorb nitrogen in this form from the atmosphere. So soil has certain bacteria that convert this gaseous nitrogen of atmosphere into a usable form and release it into the soil. So these are absorbed by the plants along with water. Also you might have seen farmers adding fertilizers rich in nitrogen to the soil. So in this way the plants fulfill their requirements of nitrogen along with the other constituents, and plants can then synthesize proteins and vitamins. Let's move to the another topic, that is other modes of nutrition in plants. Now there are some plants which do not have chlorophyll, so they cannot synthesize their own food. So a question arises, how do they survive and from where do they derive nutrition? Like humans and animals, such plants depend on the food produced by other plants. So they use the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Observe this figure. Do you see a yellow very branch structure twining around the stem and branches of a tree? This is a plant called Cuscuta or amarbel. It does not have any kind of chlorophyll, so it takes ready-made food from the plant on which it is climbing, and the plant on which it climbs is called the host. Since it deprives the host of valuable nutrients, Cuscuta is also called the parasite. Are we and other animals are also kind of parasites? So the answer is yes. You have to also know that mosquitoes, bedbugs, lice, leeches that suck our blood are also parasites. Now, have you seen or heard of plants that can eat animals? So, there are a few plants which can trap insects and digest them. Is it not amazing? Such plants may be green or of some other color. Now look at this plant very carefully. The pitcher-like or jug-like structure is the modified part of the leaf, and the apex, that is the end of a leaf, forms the lid which can open and close the mouth of the pitcher. So inside the pitcher there are hair which entangle the trapped insect, and the lid closes and the insect is trapped. So the insect is killed by the juices secreted inside the pitcher and its nutrients are absorbed. So such insect eating plants are called insectivorous plants. Now a question arises, if a pitcher plant is green and carries out photosynthesis, then why does it feed on insects? So the reason is that these insectivorous plants grow on a soil which do not have sufficient amount of nitrogen. So they feed on insects to get all the required nutrients. So let's understand this process by one activity. Take a piece of bread and moisten it with water. Leave it in a moist, warm place for 2 to 3 days or until fluffy patches appear on them. Now what is the color of these patches? Observe the patches under a microscope or a magnifying glass. You will see cotton-like threads spread on the piece of bread. You can clearly see in this figure. So these organisms are called fungi, and they have a different mode of nutrition. They absorb the nutrients from the bread. So this mode of nutrition in which organisms take in nutrients from dead and decaying matter is called saprotrophic nutrition. And such organisms with saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called saprotrophs. Fungi also grow on pickles, leather, clothes and other articles that are left in hot and humid weather for a long time. So during the rainy season, they spoil many things. So the fungal spores are generally present in the air. So when they land on wet and warm things, they germinate and grow. So some organisms live together and share both shelter and nutrients, and this relationship is called symbiosis. For example, certain fungi live inside the roots of plants, and these plants provide nutrients to the fungus, and in return the fungus provides water and certain nutrients. So this was the one example of symbiosis relationship. In organisms called lichens, a chlorophyll containing partner, which is an algae, and a fungus live together, and the fungus provides shelter, water and minerals to the algae, and in return the algae prepares and provides food to the fungus. So this is also an example of symbiosis relationship. So in the next video, we are going to learn how nutrients are replenished in the soil.